What's up guys, Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com. So in today's video we're going to talk about how to model a floor plan in SketchUp. So just a heads up in advance, something weird happened with the audio in this video. It's definitely easy to follow. I think it's probably one of the better floor plan tutorials I've ever done, but there's just something kind of funky about the audio. So I do apologize for that and I'm going to try to do better in the future, but I still think there's a lot of valuable stuff in this video. So let's go ahead and just jump into it.
All right, and so when I model a floor plan, what I usually do is I start by just roughing out the whole shape of the space that I want to create. So in this case, we're going to create more of like an office building type situation right here. So we're going to start by just drawing a line. I'm going to say this office is going to be 100 feet long, and then we're going to assume that we've got a width of maybe, we'll call it 60 feet right here. So we'll draw a line. It's going to be 60 feet like this. And so now we just want to rough out the outside of this building, which in this case is going to be fairly simple because it's going to have a rectangular shape right here. And so usually what I like to do is I like to rough out my wall locations first. You absolutely don't have to do this, but I usually like to do this. So I'm going to assume that on the outside of my building, the outside assembly is going to be maybe like 6 inches right here. So I'm going to offset that by 6 inches. And so what that's going to do is that's going to give me a shape that I can extrude upward in a bit, right? So I'm going to come in here and you could pull this up in order to create your walls. Now, before you create your walls, and I actually think I made this a little wide, so I'm actually going to take this external wall and I'm going to move it over maybe 20 feet, something like this. So this is going to be kind of a longer, more narrow office. But now what we want to do is we want to start adding our interior walls. And so there's a couple ways we can do this as well. You can definitely come in here and just create the walls, right? So I can just draw a 15-foot line right here, then maybe a 20-foot line this way, and kind of rough out my walls that way. And then I can just offset them outward if I decide that I want to do that. So I'm going to take these interior walls and say they're going to be 4 inches wide, just as kind of a simple shape right here. So you can definitely do that this way. You can also use the tape measure tool in create guide mode in order to create guides for your rooms. So for example, let's say that I want a bunch of offices here that are going to be maybe like 12 feet. I could create a guide in here to show me where those rooms are going to be. And then let's say that each one of them is going to be 12 by 12. I can just use the create guide tool to draw 12-foot guides in here. And so let's say these are each going to be 14 feet wide or something like that. I could just use the create guide tool in order to create those guides. Now, one thing to be aware of is your walls are going to have thickness. So if you're drawing the inside dimensions of your rooms, you may want to add another guide with your wall thickness. So something like this. So I might draw like a 4-inch guide. So maybe something like this. And what that does is it just makes it really easy for you to trace the lines in here that you need. You can just draw on top of these like this. You could also draw rectangles and then take those edges and offset them out if you decide that you want to do that. So kind of up to you. The other thing that I do sometimes is if I have walls like this that are going to be the same width, I might just come in here and just copy the edges over here just like this. And then all I have to do is just draw a line all the way across like this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to rough out the rest of the space real quick. And one thing to note is if you offset an entire space like this, you're going to get an extra wall on the back side. So usually what I'll do instead is I'll just select the edges and just offset those in. So I can just select those, tap the F key, and then offset these by whatever distance I want. In this case, I'm just picking 4 inches just because that's very simple. And then you can also make adjustments in here while these are flat, which is another reason I like to do that. Like for example, I want to have a door in here, right? Well, with a door, I'm going to need at least a jamb. So that's going to be, call it 6 inches off the wall. And then my door needs to be like 3 feet wide or something like that. And then I need another jamb. So I'm just going to use guides to show me where this wall needs to be. And then I'm going to move this over like this so that now I'm aligned in here. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to split this face for my doors. So I usually like to mark my doors in before I start extruding things to 3D. All right, and so once you get your walls created, what you might want to do is you might want to come in here and start modeling out your doors or roughing out your doors. And again, I'm just going to use guides in order to do that. So in this case, right, I'm going to want a gap in here so that I can model a jamb, but then I want to draw the width of the door right here. And in this situation, we might actually take these guides, and I'm assuming the doors are going to be kind of aligned fairly similarly. And so what I'm doing is I'm just marking up where my doors are going to go. That way, when I come back in here and extrude this up, I'm going to have a door opening, right? I'm going to have an opening on either side of this extrusion. So real quick, go in there and mark where your doors are going to be, and then we'll come back and move on to the next step. All right, then once we're done with that, and we're sure that we don't need any our guides anymore, we're just going to click on the search button and look for the erase guides function right here, or delete guides function, and I'm just going to click on it. What that's going to do is that's going to get rid of all of the guides inside of my model. Okay, and so then what we can do is we can start extruding this to 3D. And so the first thing I usually do is I like to take my external wall and group it separate from my internal walls. That way if I need to toggle it on or off at any point, I can definitely do that. I also want to come in here and I want to select all of the edges that are in here. So I basically want to pick up my walls, but then I want to remove my faces that are in here and I want to put them in a group. That way my walls are separate from like my floors. So then I'm going to take all of these walls and I'm going to put them in a group like this. That way I'll be able to toggle those on and off as well. But then I can come in here and I can start extruding things to 3D. So I'm just going to come in here and double click in this group. And I'm going to start extruding these to whatever the height is going to be in this space. All right, in this case, I'm going to assume that my walls are going to be like 10 feet tall. So I'm going to type in a value of 10 feet and hit the enter key. Now remember that you can double click in order to extrude to whatever the last length you extruded to was. So I'm just going to come in here and just double click on these surfaces like this to extrude my walls to 3D. Then we'll go ahead and extrude our exterior wall to 10 feet as well. And a lot of the time, if this is like inside of an office building or something, that may go up higher, but we're just trying to draw a floor plan, so this ought to work just fine. Well, then the other thing we need to do is we still need to add the door headers in here, right? Because you're going to put a door in an opening, but it's not going to go all the way to the ceiling. And so there's a few different ways that you can do this. The way that I've found to be easiest is I actually use the move tool in copy mode, and I select this bottom piece and I copy it up 7 feet, and then I push pull it to the top right here. So there are definitely other ways that you could do that. So for example, you could also draw a rectangle across the top, but then you have to delete out these faces and then push pull it down. You can tap the control key to make sure you're in create new face mode. You need to know how far down these need to come if you're going to do this way. So in this case, I know these need to come down 3 feet. Like this. So there's a few different ways that you can do that. I just prefer this way because all I need to know is my opening size. So I know that my opening needs to be 7 feet tall, so I know that I can move this up. And actually what you could do is you could come in here and select all of these if your openings are all the same height. And then you could just use the move tool in copy mode and copy them all up, right? So if I tap the control key with this active and type in a value of 7 feet, they're all going to push pull up to 7 feet. Well then, I can just come in here, just push pull one, and then double click on the rest to fill those in really quickly. And usually I recommend here that you come in and you use the eraser tool in order to clean up all this extra geometry that gets created. I don't know of a way around doing that. So we're just going to go ahead and clean all of this up. And then the other thing that I'm also going to do is I'm also going to erase out this extra at the base of each one of the doors because we don't really need it anymore. And notice how the floor group still isn't like, the floor group isn't continuing uninterrupted through here. So you still have a gap, but we just don't want that gap coming from our door group or from our wall group. All right, so now we have our floor plan roughed out. And we want to start adding things like doors and windows. And so again, we usually operate under the assumption that we want to create walls and then we want to create rough openings in those walls that like your doors and windows are going to go into. And then we want to add any openings for our windows. So in this case, right, assume that these offices are going to have maybe some glass in here, maybe just to the midpoint of the door right here. So I'm going to go ahead and rough that in Well, in this case, we've got a lot of uniformity in our space, right? So what that means is that I can just use this box multiple different times in here as kind of a template. And for this room, I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit longer because this might be like a conference room or something like that. But then we can take this and we can pull it in order to remove the material in that rough opening. Well, now what we need to do is we need to create our doors and our frames. So that's going to be pretty simple. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a rectangle in this opening, right? And we want to model the frame first. So we're just going to take this and we're going to assume this frame is going to go inward, maybe like 2 inches. It might actually go outward if your door opening needs to be exactly 3 feet. But for what we're doing here, this ought to be fine. So I'm just going to come in here and erase out this extra. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click on this and I'm going to make it a component. And I'm going to call this frame 3 foot by 7 foot, or however big you make your openings. I'm just going to take that frame. I'm going to pull it to the back side right here. So next, I'm going to model out my door leaf, and I'm going to assume that my door leaf is going to swing backwards. So I'm going to model it back, and in this case, the actual opening size would be 2 foot 8 inches. And we'll say this maybe has a width of like 3/4 of an inch or something like that. That's going to be my door leaf, and I can pull that up in order to create my door. And the door may be a little bit thicker than that. Looking at it now, this looks a little thin. So maybe I'll pull this another 1/2 inch or something like that. But I'm going to make that a component, and we'll call this door 3 foot by 7 foot. It's actually 2 foot 8, but we'll call it good for right here. And then we can draw a swing in here that shows our swing. And then I'm going to take all 3 of those things and I'm going to put them in a component, and I'm going to call this door 3 foot by 7 foot assembly. The other one I should have called door leaf, but that's fine. And then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to repeat it multiple different times because all my openings are the same size. And that's kind of a design decision by you. And so if your openings are different sizes, then you may have to model your doors manually for each one of these openings. But for me, this is pretty simple, so I can just keep doing this. So I'm just going to use the move tool in copy mode, and I'm just repeating this as many times as I can so that I don't have to remodel things. Then we'll do the same thing for these window frames. So I'm going to take the rectangle tool, draw a rectangle across here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide this into 3 segments like this. And again, what I'm doing is I'm roughing out a frame that's going to go in this opening. So in this case, I'm going to assume that this frame is going to be fairly narrow. So maybe I'm going to assume that maybe these are 1 inch right here. And then I might take these central ones and I might move them over. And then we'll go ahead and we'll erase these out. We'll erase out our central points, and then we'll just pull this back like this. And then however you want to model out the glass in here, you can do that. So I'm going to make this a component real quick. We'll call this window. I didn't get the dimensions, so I'm just not going to put them in here. But then I'm just going to draw a glass pane in each one of these, and maybe pull it like a 1/4 inch or something like that. Then I'll take that whole thing, make it a component, call it glass pane. And I'll just use the move tool in copy mode and copy it. And then I'll take this whole thing and I will make it a component. I will just call this window assembly. And then since it repeats, I'll just copy it across. And so for this one, I'm going to be a little bit lazy, just because this is supposed to be kind of a quick tutorial. And I'm just going to put 2 of these back to back. And I'm just going to make sure that the end of my opening aligns with this, like this. And so what I like to do is I like to take things like this and put it in a group. That way I can come in here and I can hide it, or I could put it on a tag and toggle it on and off. But we're just going to select all of these, right click on them, and put them in a group. That way, again, I can come in here and I can hide them so that I can work on things like my floor. And you can see how my floor got erased out, but I should be able to heal it just by drawing an edge across here. It looks like something maybe right here got erased. There we go. But we've got our floor in here. So now let's apply some materials to our floor. So I'm just going to go to my materials and we'll just find a carpet material, something like this. And if you wanted to, you could take your floor spaces and put them in a group as well. But then I'm going to go back into my display settings and I'm going to unhide all so that I have my walls in here. And then the last thing I want to talk about in this video real quick, and we may want to come in here actually and apply a glass material. In the Pro version, you would export this to layout. In the free version, you don't really have access to layout, but you can add a section plane in here and go to a top-down view like this. And so what we want to do is we want to add a section plane that cuts through our walls, because what that's going to do is that's going to show us our detail from a top-down standpoint. So notice if you look at this from a top-down standpoint, right, you can see the detail that makes up like our glass and other things like that. So usually what you want to do to get a floor plan view is you want to go to a top-down view like this. You want to turn perspective off. So you want to go into parallel projection mode like this, and inside of your display options, which you can find right here, you can also turn this off in your style. You want to turn off section planes. And actually, let's go into our styles real quick and let's pick one of the default styles. In this case, maybe the shaded with textures or the hidden line. It really kind of depends on what you're trying to do. But notice how what this does is this gives us a floor plan where we can look at this from the top down. If you want materials, you can pick one of these others, right? This one shows textures, for example. So you can kind of set that up however you want. One other thing you should know about is if you go into your style settings, under model settings, you can toggle off section fills. So what section fills are doing is it's basically filling in this wall wherever the section plane is interacting with your model. Well, in this case, you can toggle that on and off depending on what you're trying to do. You could also go into your edge settings and turn your profiles on or off in order to get thicker lines in here if you decide that you want that. All right, so this should give you an idea of how to model floor plans in SketchUp free. I will link to the next video in this series on this page as soon as it comes out. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you have any questions about anything we talked about. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.